season finale of the Mob Psycho 100 anime series. Mob and his newfound companions take on the Scars, the upper echelon of the evil Claw organization. Does Mob have the Esper skills to pay the psychic bills? Find out in my review. In my humble opinion, the Mob Psycho 100 anime series is one of the biggest surprises of 2016. Not only is it an absolutely hilarious anime series, but it also has some real kick-ass action sequences. Not to mention, the final episode of the series takes a concept which I believed was going to be the main character of the series, completely wailing on the main villains, and completely turned that on its head. Spoiler warnings if you've not seen either episode 11 or 12. Basically, both of these episodes are just Mob and his friends taking on the Scars, and they do it in such an epic fashion. Episode 11 is basically just an excuse for beautiful cinematography and a lot of great action sequences. Not only that, but there were some nice, tender, heartwarming moments, especially between the Kageyama brothers, with Mob and Ritsu finally getting over their differences. What I think I loved most about it is the fact that Mob had no hesitation in wanting to save his brother and actually forgiving him for all of the things that he's done. He's also just ecstatic by the fact that his brother has psychic powers. I think the cherry on top of the scene, without a doubt, has to be at the very end of episode 12, when Mob returns to his family and him and his brother are having dinner with the family, and he continuously destroys every spoon that he's using because he's super psychic. But as soon as he destroys the spoon, his brother picks it up and fixes it with his newfound psychic abilities. This scene solidified the fact that the Kageyama brothers are now good friends again. And you know what? It just really warmed my heart. Without a doubt, though, the real star of the last couple episodes of Mob Psycho 100 is not even Mob himself or even the Claws. It's actually Reigen. Yeah, Reigen Arataka ends up being basically the hero of the last couple of episodes. When he infiltrates the Claws organization, he tricks all of the underlings and the goons into thinking that they've basically been manipulated by the higher-ups, and he actually manages to allow them to escape. This allows Mob and his friends to actually fight against the other members of Claw, and this ends up causing all sorts of destruction. Getting to see their raw psychic powers just destroy the building, the battle between Teruki and Sakurai, the guy with the sword, is just plain freaking incredible. And you're waiting for that moment for Mob to finally get up to 100%, and it looks like that's definitely going to happen. They leave you at a big cliffhanger at the end of episode 11, but as soon as episode 12 begins, something crazy happens. Something that I honestly did not expect. Apparently, Mob has actually given all of his psychic powers to Reigen, who not only goes beyond 100%, but manages to go all the way up to 1000%, which allows him to effortlessly just take down the Claw organization and make them look like a couple of bitches. I mean, he just completely annihilates all these guys. Not only can he deflect all of their attacks, but he just ends up sending these guys flying. In particular, the leader, who goes by the name of Ishiguro, and we actually get to see his full form in the final episode, and I have to admit it's not what I expected. It's the exact opposite of what they were actually portraying him as. I thought he was going to end up being some little girl. He's some decrepit, crusty old man. Why did he sound like a little girl when he was wearing his gas mask? I don't know, anime logic. But the twist on the final episode is really what sold me on the entire series, because if this were any other big action anime series, Mob would have gone to 100% power and he would have just wrecked everyone's world. Instead, Reigen stepped in, using his powers, and it didn't even look like he was trying to do this stuff half the time. And like I said, he's dodging the attacks of all of the different Claw members. They're summoning monsters, trying to attack him with sword abilities which aren't even managing to cut him, getting punched repeatedly, not to mention Ishiguro sending him flying around in the sky like a freaking rocket. That action sequence was on One Punch Man levels. It was fantastic. And what I also love about Ishiguro is he also is able to summon these like weird, super powerful gravity orbs, and Reigen just sort of bats them away like they're nothing. The con artist has ended up becoming the hero of the final season, and that is freaking hilarious. It's the ultimate middle finger to the viewer, yet it's also a thumbs up at the same time. It's really damn clever. Not to mention, there's also another final twist on the series where apparently the Claw organization is stopped by that mysterious psychic kid by the name of Sho. Apparently, Sho is the son of the real leader of Claw, who makes his first mysterious appearance at the end of this episode right here. I had a feeling that Sho was going to end up being important. I didn't imagine that it was going to be this important. He's incredibly enigmatic, and you don't really know what he's trying to do. You can definitely see that there's a clear rivalry between him and Mob, and he definitely knows that he has a lot of crazy psychic powers, and then he just sort of makes his quick escape, and that's pretty much the end of the episode right there. Sunrise, sunset, everybody's happy, everybody returns to their normal lives, and Mob continues to join the Body Transformation Club, something that I think is really awesome, not to mention he's joined by the other guy, Onigawara, the one gang member. There's just something really fantastic about the fact that Mob still continues to want to improve his life, despite the fact that he has godlike powers. That's what's so enduring about the character of Mob. He's incredibly powerful, yet he sees his power as the ultimate weakness. It's truly what's holding him back. And yet, by the end of the episode, he's made more friends than he's ever had in his entire life, and he's basically right back to square one. Mob is a fantastic anime character, one of the most unique main protagonists I've seen from any anime series. So what's the rundown on the final episodes of Mob Psycho 100? I cannot wait for another season. This was a fantastic surprise. I went into Mob Psycho 100 completely blind, and I really had no idea what to expect from the series. All I really know is that it was from the creator of One Punch Man. That's about as far as my knowledge went. And I wasn't expecting it to be the exact same thing. I'm pretty sure it was going to be like mostly a comedy, but I never expected in my wildest dreams that the action scenes of this series would be just absolutely mind-blowing. And they were, every single time. And every character always managed to be just as enduring as the last. Not just Mob himself, but the character of Ritsu, who is incredibly complex when compared to his brother. The character of Teriki, who, thank God, by the end of the series ended up getting a haircut, although it was not of his own volition. He also seems like he's going to be training those other guys from the Awakening Institute, which is really good because they have a lot to learn. And then, of course, there's Reigen, who, by the end of the series, has become my favorite character from the series. He's such a bullshit con artist, yet he also has a heart of gold. He's the one who has always been looking out for Mob. And yes, he is sort of like 50% using him and 50% kind of like coaching him to be a better person, but there's something really unique about his character. Not to mention, by the end of the series, he has the ability to see spirits, or at least he has the ability to see Dimple. And speaking of Dimple, he is a character who I initially thought was just going to annoy the crap out of me, because I'm not the biggest fan of anime character mascots. One that comes to mind is Hawk from the Seven Deadly Sins series. I hate that character, and I was afraid that Dimple was going to end up becoming something like that. He ended up being the exact opposite, because unlike a lot of the other like anime sidekick characters who always try to be just over the top, goofy, and funny, Dimple is a real dick. He's a real asshole, and there's something funny about that. This series takes a lot of character tropes that you expect to see in a lot of different anime, and they flip them on their head, and that's what's so unique about the show. That and the fact that it has an incredibly unique art style. Something about the creator of One Punch Man and his art style, the way he does things, I don't know, he does the best deadpan expressions that I've ever seen. Maybe it's the eyes. I think it's the way that he draws the eyes. They're unlike any other anime that I've ever seen before, and it adds a lot of style and uniqueness, and makes this one of the most distinct comedy action anime that I have ever seen. And you know what? I cannot wait to see more. I'm not sure if I'm going to read the manga version. I've taken a look at it, and you know what? Just, they're so different from one another. I really think that Mob Psycho 100 has benefited from becoming an anime. The manga version, for me, is just a little too simple, and I think it's just, that's just it. It's just too simple. But the anime version, they just sort of went over the top with it, and I think it really benefited from that. What more can I say? Mob Psycho 100 was an awesome experimentation in badass animation, and you should definitely check it out if you're a fan of really kick-ass action, amazing characters, and lots of comedy that's going to split your sides. This was a great anime series, and I loved both of the final episodes, 11 and 12. I'm going to give both of them a 5 out of 5, especially that final episode for the amazing twist of Reigen taking over and saving the day. So, I loved this series, but I want to hear from you guys. How were you introduced to the Mob Psycho 100 series? Was it through the manga? Was it from the anime? Is there one that you prefer over the other? What did you think of the anime adaptation of Mob Psycho 100? And what did you like or not like about the final episodes of the series? And what do you hope to see from a second season? They didn't announce anything, at least to my knowledge, but come on, they left it open for a little bit more, and I'm sure we're gonna get that in the future. In the meantime, we're just gonna have to kick back and relax and wait for that second season of One Punch Man, which was just announced. I was going to make a separate video about that altogether, but really I don't have much more to say other than the fact that, yeah, a second season of One Punch Man. That kicks ass. Make sure to tell me all that and more in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching my review. Make sure to subscribe, like the video, and share it with all of your friends. Thank you guys again for watching, and as always, stay dandy, baby.